it's Lisa. I'm continuing on with the load layout a day this month. I have a layout for us with a brand new sketch. We've got 3 photos we're going to use, and we're going to have a frame around them cut out of the silhouette because I have a basketball theme, and I downloaded this designed cut for ages ago, and I had not used it. Also going to do something a little bit with a star theme and maybe a little bit of a banner. I'm kind of undecided about the banner. I'll leave some space for my stepdaughter to do the journaling as this is going to be one of her pages. So we have these basketball photos. The prompt for today was to use green, orange, and white. And I always watch the video that goes with load when I'm having breakfast, and I don't have my photos, of course, in front of me. And after breakfast I thought, oh, I have the perfect photo. I have Dylan's basketball and they wear green uniforms. But I didn't remember until I pulled them out that the lettering was yellow. So instead of doing green, orange, and white, we're going to do green, yellow, and white on my particular page. So I'm not quite following the challenge here, but I've been wanting to get this one done. So we got our new sketch, we've got the photos, and then we have a little bit of a challenge with papers because their uniforms are really dark green, or kind of a forest green, perfectly normal color, but in the scrapbooking world it doesn't exist. There used to be some cardstock from Stampin' Up, and this very well may be it, and my very last piece of it, and this is all I got. So when I cut that frame, I really need to get it right. If all else fails, I did find one other piece of sort of, not just a little more teal color to it, but another option for green cardstock. Plenty of yellow, and then I'm also compromising a little bit on the background. I want, a little more golden colored floor would have been better here, but we're going to use this wood grain from Simple Stories, beautiful paper from Hello Baby, or something about Twinkle. Oh, it has Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on the back side. Apparently it's a children's collection, but I just love this wood grain. So I'm going to go to my silhouette and cut out the frame, and then we'll come back and start to pull the page together. Since I just have one piece of this perfect green paper, I'm going to very carefully pull this apart. And I have this at about 3 or 4 times speed, so I was much more careful than it looks like getting this frame out. And it is just a great frame. It says basketball, and it has a basketball player dunking the ball over on the left. So we're going to fit the photos in there. What I want to do is put this on a white background. I'd like to save some of this green paper though to do a row of stars at the bottom, but I don't have a full 12-inch length anymore since I've been cutting this up. So what I think I'm going to do is 2 rows of stars, and we'll get to that towards later in the video and try to piece those together and maybe put a bigger star where they come together, something like that. So I want to cut out a white frame on the inside, and I could just go back to the silhouette and cut out another one of these and use that middle, but it's real delicate down there, and lining everything up and not having any gaps I'm not sure I'd do such a hot job with. So I decided to trim it out and leave and have it so that the frame lays on top of the white with just the outside edge cut around. So I mark this with a pencil, and then I'm going to cut on the inside of the pencil lines. I can use the big scissors for some of it and then get down into the detail fussy cutting with I use these little scissors from Stampin' Up. I've had them a long time and I just love them. I went ahead and trimmed the ball off at the top because I don't really need to have white underneath that. And I won't show you all this. I'll do the fussy cutting. I did think though that there's another section of video that I thought I was recording and I wasn't, where I glued these pieces together and find that there's a few places where I need to do a little bit more trimming. So it's just a refining process. What I did was glued the top part, the basketball player, and the top part of the frame onto the white, and then before I glued the bottom part down, I did a little extra trimming. So what you'll see now is it's all glued together at this point. I just need to get the photos in there. And there's just a little bit more trimming that needs doing. Now this frame is not square, so I'm kind of placing it on my grid paper and where I, as squared up as I think it's going to look so that I can get the photos on there straight. Now one thing that bugs me is the space between the E, T, and B letters. I feel like I probably should have left some white there, so I'm not quite sure about what to do about that at this point. But for now I've gone and cut 2 rows of stars, and unfortunately the stars are not going to come together over on the side where I'd like to put a larger star. So what I'm going to do is try just to overlap the green. I first tried to put 2 edges together and I decided that wasn't even enough, so then I went back and trimmed another star, and I'm going to have them overlap just slightly, and then the yellow in underneath them. So it's going to say basketball star. I've got some thickers here for STR, and we'll do yellow star for the A. I cut a small one and I thought it was too small, and I cut a big one, so I think I'll just layer them since I have both of those. And I have a little piece of white scrap paper that I'm going to fit in that little space, and that looks a lot better to me. So I can just glue that on, and we won't know that I cut out more than I really wished I had. So let's go trim some yellow paper. Got some ledger there for the journaling. And I'm still not sure about the banner up there at the top. Okay, so we have some yellow paper, getting it positioned. I've got more yellow paper. I could have gone and gotten a bigger piece, but I can easily piece it underneath the green and you'll never know. The tricky part is putting these 2 green ones together and gluing them carefully so that the overlap doesn't show. And it really comes out good. I mean, you'll see in the pictures, in the very first picture at the beginning of the video, it's very hard to tell where that is, and it's hard to tell in person where that overlap is. And of course it's going to be on the bottom of a page protector, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. Now I thought that I would make that top star show up a little bit more by putting some yellow ink around the edges. So I just grabbed the Daffodil Delight marker that's the same color as this cardstock, and then I'll glue those together. Okay, we got our page done. I just added a date down here at the bottom, and I put awesome sticker there to go with the title. I decided not to do the banner. I felt like, you know, I had a lot going on down here, and with all of this design, it just would take away from it. So left a place for my stepdaughter to do some journaling, and I did add that little bit of white back underneath that, and I think that really helped that area I'd cut out just a bit too much. And this is where I pieced. And I, you know, from just looking at this casually, I don't really notice it. And of course, it'll be down in a page protector, and I don't think that'll be a problem at all. So you can see some of the details here, and all coming off of this sketch. So thank you so much for watching. If you like the sketch, you find this over on my blog, as well as a link to the 2014 sketchbook with all the sketches and links to the videos, and they're all to scale with some extra details and stuff in there. So lots of good stuff. I did have this much green paper left out of cutting this out and, you know, kind of having to work with a color scheme that's not necessarily scrapbook product friendly. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you liked the video, I hope you'll leave it a thumbs up, because that helps YouTube advance my channel. And so and join me next time. Have a great day.